almost there. My eyes have gone milky. Please come a little closer, sister.
I don't believe we've met before. Why do you call me sister? I don't need sight to see someone who has also signed a dark contract.
The woman looks blindly through you, though you can sense her focus.
Contract? So you had dealings with that damnable goat too. What sort of pact did he rope you into? Oh, you know how it is. I was young, and he weren't no goat when I knew him. We used to dance naked under the blood moon and raise the dead to frighten dull country folk. But it's ancient history now. Old age comes for us all, and eventually you've got to hang up the sacrificial dagger and settle down into the comforts of retirement. I know the feeling. I miss my cozy chair and little fireplace. Seems like a fine spot you've got here. Well, it's not all posies and pumpernickel.
She clutches worriedly at the moth-eaten blanket in her lap.
What's rattled your bones? Maybe I can help. It's my dear husband. Handsome chap, although a bit clumsy. He had a tumble trying to weed out some swamp traps from the yard. Awful things like to snap at your toes when you're not looking. Anyways, he twisted his ankle pretty bad and went off to the sick house to have it looked at. But that was a few days ago. Should have been back by now. And these legs haven't worked right in decades, so I can't even go to check up on him. I've been so worried. I even thought about making another contract. Don't you dare. You just wait here. I'll go find him and see what the bother is. Thank you, sister. The sick house is down the road to the west. Be careful of the critters along the way. They got a taste for blood.
The thick moss growing on this massive fallen trunk seems to recoil at your touch, feeling strange etchings on the bark below. Slowly a spark of swirling energy sweeps forth from the waterlogged wood until the ethereal doorway appears.
Hold on now. This sick house is full to the brim and festering with disease. Don't you know there's a deadly plague going around? A plague, you say? This is the first I've heard of it. Oh, it's terrible. It affects the young and the old, the healthy and the infirm alike. We're so swamped with patients, I can barely catch my breath. So what are you doing out here? Shouldn't you be inside tending to the ill? We've got so many bodies piling up. Someone has to bury them before this spreads the sickness further.
She drops her voice to a whisper, looking ashamed.
It's gotten so crowded I've even had to dump some in the swamp. That seems unethical. But don't worry, the leech is inside working her miracles on the other patients. They couldn't be in better hands. The leech, that's the doctor of this place? The best in the land. I don't dare think about how much worse it would be without her skills. I need to speak to her. I'm checking up on someone who came through here. Sorry, I cannot in good conscience allow a person of your years to enter such an infectious space without a proper inoculation. But with all the patients, we're low on medicine, and I'm afraid I don't have any to spare. What's a simple booster shot made from anyway? There's plenty of medicinal ingredients right here in the swamp. I'll get them for myself. Well, it's a pretty basic prescription. If you bring me the components, I'll be able to mix and administer it, and you can go inside. I'll need 3 milligrams of bug core extract, 5 grams of toxic thistle powder, and some lazy grass to numb the pain.
The nurse takes the dried grasses you have been so careful to keep intact and immediately crushes them into a powder. A fat troll sits squarely in the middle of the bridge, busy scratching an itch on his back with the fallen tree. His unmatched girth blocks the path forward.
Out of the way, you big galoot.
He shifts his mass and releases a loud fart as you attempt to circumvent him.
Oh, fine, keep your bridge. I'll come back when the vapors have dissipated.
You place a sloshing jar of ichor in the nurse's hands. She inspects it suspiciously, but doesn't ask where it came from. You snap off a few spiny thistles and pass them to the nurse. She is careful not to prick herself on the sharp ends. The nurse nods at you, gathering all the ingredients into a small hand-sized mortar. You hold your breath as she mashes everything to a slimy, stinky liquid.
Not the most pleasant stuff, but I can assure you it beats growing lumps where no lumps should be. Speak for yourself. One can never have enough lumps.
The nurse shrugs at you, sucking up the bubbling mixture from an oversized syringe. She gestures for you to hold out your arm. After stabbing into your flesh several times, she fails to find any veins with the point of the needle.
Sorry, you seem to have some strange physiology. Give it here. I'll do it.
You seize the injector and jab it into your arm without further fuss. A cool sensation climbs into your fingertips. You doubt the medicine will have any effect, but at least it should make the nurse happy.
There, I feel much better. Can I go inside now? Oh, yes, of course. You should be immune to the plague for the time being. Just be quick. The leech is very busy.
The doctor slithers from one patient to another, checking off little boxes on a clipboard. From under her wide-brimmed hat, she appears to notice you enter, but pays you no mind.
You must be the leech. I was hoping you can help me find one of your patients.
Do you have the symptoms? Crackling of the bones, oozing eyes, skin rot, perhaps a yellow liver? Let's get you examined.
The leech extends her toothy snout, prodding your body and searching for some hidden malignancy. You slap her away with a swift palm.
If it's sickness you're looking for, you won't find it on me.
My dear, we are all sick with something. Whether it's a broken heart or a broken arm, we are all suffer in one way or another.
You peer through her tightly wrapped garments and you see a deep darkness underneath. Despite the warmth in her words, there's a sense of hunger and urgency in her tone.
I am here to heal, to mend, to put all of your troubles at ease. Now tell me, what ails you?
I told you already. I'm in perfect health. I'm here to find someone, a man who came through here with a sprained ankle.
Half the patients who come to me have a twisted this or a broken that before the pox sets in, that is. Can you be more specific? What does he look like?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Well then, how do you expect me to help you? Come back to me when you know who you're looking for.
You look about the sick house, at the coughing, wheezing, bedridden souls. Perhaps some of them will be able to identify the missing husband.
Well, do you have... I remember that poor man now. Came in with a swollen ankle, but on his journey through the swamp, he must have contracted the plague. His condition declined rapidly, I'm sorry to say. In the end, there wasn't much I could do for him except make him comfortable.
He's dead. What sort of sick house is this anyway?
My condolences, really. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get back to doing what I can for the living.
At least tell me where his wife might collect his body. The nurse outside seemed to be having trouble keeping track of them all.
I'm sorry. That information is reserved for next of kin. Judging by your physique, I wouldn't say you were related to the deceased in the slightest.
The doctor turns away from you to prepare vials of medicine. Better return to the old woman in the swamp with the bad news.
Do you have news of my husband? He should have been back from the sick house by now.
You bow your head in condolence.
I'm sorry to say that your husband has passed away. The leech said he fell ill with the plague.
Rather than grief, an expression of mild annoyance crosses the woman's face.
Oh, what a nuisance. Don't seem that upset by the news. Well, he was getting on in years. It was bound to happen sooner or later. I just didn't think it would be from some measly plague of all things. So, where's the fool now? Well, I'm not sure. The leech wouldn't tell me, but her assistant mentioned having to dispose of the dead out in the swamp. Ah, brimstones and bandersnatch. I know I'm already in your debt, sister, but can I ask you for another favor? I suppose I've already stuck my foot in this mess. What is it? There's an old circle of power just west of here. Served me well in my younger years, and I expect it's still got some juice left. I need you to dust it off and fire it up again. I do it myself, but by the time I get there, my poor husband's body would already be reduced to worm parts. What am I to do with this circle? You're a knowledgeable lass. The engravings on the obelisk should explain the rest.
You brush off a blanket of thick moss and lichen from the ancient magical pattern carved into the earth. The essence of power wakes at your touch, bringing slight warmth to your fingertips. 4 black stone obelisks surround the ritual spot. You need to scrape off more overgrown decay to read the runic lettering engraved on their surfaces. The northern obelisk calls for proof of the dead. The afterlife is nothing if not bureaucratic. A death certificate from the leech would fit the bill. shadowy doctor prowls amongst the cots, eyeing the weakest patients with a dark hunger. She snaps a quivering tentacle at you as you approach.
Not a step closer. Who knows what sort of disgusting maladies you might be carrying?
Yes, I'm a pox-ridden wretch, I know, but I need a death certificate from you. Specifically of the short-bearded man we spoke about. His wife is in no condition to roll her chair through the swamp, so she asked me to collect it for her.
Don't simply give out death certificates to anyone claiming to be someone's aunt, grandmother, or friend. This is a legitimate operation.
She turns her back to you and rummages through a nearby medicinal closet.
Now, where has that serum got to? Don't tell her we're already out.
What's the matter? Out of stock? It's a shame you don't have time to go out yourself.
She tenses at your continued presence.
What are you getting at?
Medicine for that death certificate. I think that's a fair trade, don't you?
You would barter when people's lives are on the line? Fine. You'll have your paperwork, you filthy degenerate.
Clearly too angry to speak with you, she shoves a list of required medicinal supplies into your hands. The leech inspects the bars before placing each of them carefully into a velvet-lined container alongside other excruciating-looking instruments. The leech takes the wings with a surprisingly delicate touch and lays them out carefully along the surface of the clear shell. The leech stuffs the poultice into an unsanitary-looking cabinet without a second glance.
I run your errands. Now I really must insist on that death certificate.
There's no need to get prickly. I have your papers right here.
The leech extends her moist arm and thrusts a poorly written note into your hands. You shake the mucus from the paper and try to decipher the loopy, illegible scribbles. You're not even sure that the leech spelled the poor man's name right, but you suppose it's better than nothing.
Next time I need a doctor's note, I'm better off forging the signature myself.
The humid swamp air has made the paper of the desert kit soft and damp. As you drop it into the bowl, it decomposes before your eyes until nothing is left. These animate wooden effigies seem engaged in a ritualistic dance. They march in stiff patterns around a reflective piece of glass embedded in the soft ground. You lean in for a better look, just long enough to make out the shard's mirrored surface reflecting the ghostly image of the moon. You think to reach in and grab it, but the swinging limbs of the dancing totems are too dense and quick.
Out of the way, you overgrown twigs. Maybe I can get them to shift their attention to some other glittering bauble.
Ah, sly old fox, how'd you manage to get your creaky bones past my grunts? My moose must be getting fat round the waist to let you slap by so easy.
Never too old to teach some youngins that hands are better left out of people's pockets. Next time I catch one of your thugs rooting for gold, they'll have to recount their fingers.
Ain't afraid of nothing, are ya? Well, let me be the first to welcome you to our merry camp, though I suspect you didn't come just to scold us.
What do you know about the ox who works the southern fields? Told me his family might have come through this way.
Oh, yeah, we know all about the ox. We also might have seen that family of his, but on the other hand, maybe we didn't. Was it to you?
Listen up, you big lug. That information is about the only thing stopping me from changing the whole lot of you into some stinking chickens.
Alright, Granny. No need to get upset. We just playing games, you know. Yeah, we seen that family. Boy and his mom, if I remember. Always walking in that big ox's shadow. Always looking afraid of him, too.
So you didn't kidnap them? Where are they now?
You know, you remind me of my dear old mom. She didn't take no gruff from no one neither. And she used to bake the most delicious meat pies. I sure do miss her cooking. Me and the boys have been awful hungry lately. Thieving is hard work, and crime doesn't always pay. Say, do you know how to bake? I even got Ma's pie recipe here. Who knows, on a full stomach, I might even remember something about that missing family.